Who's ready to go on vacation? I know I am. Whether you took my advice and planned in advance or whether you just need a last minute quick getaway, whether it's a weekend trip, quick extended weekend trip, or a week-long vacation or weeks-long vacation, I've got you covered. In this video, I'm going to share with you my step-by-step guide to booking affordable last-minute vacations, from how to find cheap flights, cheap hotels, packing tips and tricks, local tips and tricks when you get there. I've got you covered. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for clicking on the video. My name is Lori, and on this channel, we talk all things travel. In addition, we talk about money because it relates to our ability to travel. So we're talking today about travel tips that will help save you money. But if you go back and look at some of the previous videos, we talked about credit cards, we talked about your credit, we talked about securing your credit, helping to prevent any kind of identity theft. So you can go back and check out those videos when you get a chance. And stick around, there's a lot of good content coming up. As a matter of fact, in this video, I'm going to show you step by step. I have 5 tips for you on how to save overall on your last minute trips. And then I have 2 bonus tips towards the end that I'm sure you're going to want to learn about because they're also going to help save you money. So I decided to do this video a little bit differently. I'm going to give you the tips, and as I give you the tips, I'm going to walk you through step by step if we were planning a trip. And the fictitious or the hypothetical trip in this situation is a trip to New York. We know New York is about the #1 destination in the summer for families to go, for singles to go, for couples to go. So New York is a top 5 travel destination. And, Florida, of course, with the big mouse. That's another popular travel destination, but New York is a popular one. And so I figured I would do New York and show you how to do it a little bit more affordably. So for each tip, I go through the tip, explain the tip, and then I go ahead and I walk you through step by step how I would plan that trip myself. So tip number 1 is to go where the deals are, not necessarily what's trending. Tip number 2 is to be flexible with your travel dates. Can you fly out in the middle of the week? I told you before in a previous video that traveling during the week is a lot cheaper than traveling on the weekends. I know personally, as a frequent traveler, that hotel rooms over the weekends, the rates are sometimes bumped up by 2-3 times what they are during the week. So during the week travel, or even flying out from someplace during the week on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday is usually cheaper than a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Tip number 3, if you're flying, drive to a larger airport or a larger hub. Tip number 4, search your membership sites for lodging deals. Sometimes Expedia will have Expedia member sales. Members of Expedia get an extra 30% off, 20% off, what have you. And so I will shop around at the different places where I have membership, TripAdvisor, Travelocity, TravelZoo, Luxury Link. I will shop around at all the different sites, and you can, definitely add on to that and see where a hotel or a lodging that I'm interested in is more affordable. Tip number 5 is to research for how the locals do it. Research for how frequent travelers to that area do it. I spoke to you in a previous video about how TripAdvisor is the world's largest travel forum. And so there are tons of travelers who share their wisdom on there. There's a forum on there where you can go and ask questions about a destination. You can go to Facebook travel groups, Reddit groups. You can even ask on Instagram, whatever your social media platform of choice is, and people will give you tips. So now I'm going to walk you through exactly what I would do. I would go to googleflights.com. I would put in my local airport, TRI, Tri-Cities, and I would put in New York City. I don't specify any airport. I just put New York City. There are 3 airports, Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK. And I look through the calendar. I click on the dates, look through the calendar to see when are the cheapest dates to fly. Because I have pre-selected my location, I'm going to have to figure out a date that's going to be less expensive for me to travel. and that's going to be convenient for me to travel. So I look through the calendar and I see that July 18th to July 25th would work. But those prices are not the best. So Knoxville Airport, Tyson McGee, TSY, is about an hour, hour and a half from me. So I can drive there quite easily. And immediately you see how much lower the flights are for those very same dates going to New York from Tyson McGee. So let's go back and let's take a look at the entire month and see, okay, yes, those dates still look good. Well, what kinds of airlines are flying out of Tyson McGee? Because am I going to be on a cargo ship or something like that? But no, I see Delta has direct flights to New York out of Knoxville Airport. And I see some other budget airlines leaving out of there as well. But Delta sounds good for me. I'm a Delta Sky Miles customer and have a Delta card, so I can go directly there to my Delta app and book the flights if I wanted to. But just for demonstration purposes, let's go to Atlanta, or let's go to Asheville Airport first. Asheville Airport is about 45 minutes to an hour away from me, AVL. So I'm going to put that airport in and look at the dates as well. And I see that here we go. Another full price airline that flies out of Asheville directly to New York. Also some connecting flights. But I also know for a fact that Allegiant Air flies out of Asheville. Allegiant Air flies out of Tri-Cities also, but not directly to New York. It flies directly from Asheville to Newark, which I can explain in another video altogether, how I would take a flight from Asheville to New York, and then I would get on an express bus that goes from Newark Airport straight into Midtown Manhattan. And it's cheaper than sitting in a cab through traffic because the express buses also have their own lanes to get through the traffic over the bridge. So it's usually cheaper. Let me go to Allegiant and see what Allegiant will have for the price of flying from Asheville to New York. Put that in, NYC, and it goes to Newark, and put in those very same dates. July, the dates aren't available. So I'm going to choose some dates around that time. That's the other thing with the discount airlines. They may not fly every day of the week. So I'll put in approximately what dates. And then it usually breaks it down per segment. So I see that the first flight from Asheville to New York will be $48. I go to click on the month view, and see that, okay, $49, that's the best day to travel going out. And then I see coming back, it would be $136. I click on the month again. That's not necessarily the cheapest day to travel, but for my schedule, that's what works. But you can always choose a cheaper day. So for under $200 round trip, I can fly on the discount airlines. But remember, I would have to pay for baggage. I would have to pay for seat selection. I would have to pay, even for my carry-on luggage, I have to pay for on these discount airlines. So I don't know. I may go ahead and book with one of the full-priced airlines because the price difference is not that great, and I get my carry-on luggage included in the price. Back to Google Flights. I look at Atlanta just to see, maybe I'll be in Atlanta during that time and I can fly out of Atlanta and see how much it is to go to New York. Delta's hub is in Atlanta. The flights are going to be much cheaper. Now, do I want to drive 4 hours to Atlanta to get on a flight for $98? The price will probably be a wash. But if I'm there anyway, I might as well get on a cheap flight instead of driving back to Tennessee and getting on the flight then. And as you can see, as the dates go into the fall, the flights are even cheaper. If you take Spirit or Frontier, personally have not taken either Spirit or Frontier, so I'm not going to do that. So I've decided I'm either going to take it from Knoxville or Asheville. Let's look for a hotel. I go to TripAdvisor, I type in New York City hotels, and then I like to rank them by the traveler rankings. I like to sort them, by the traveler rankings to see which are the best hotels, which ones are getting the highest ratings from these expert travelers. And then I look to see what the prices are. Things are looking normal New York prices, high. If you look at the calendar on TripAdvisor, it even tells you when prices are lower than average, when prices are average, and when prices are higher than average. So you can use the same calendar feature to figure out what dates you wish to travel
if that will make a difference for you on the hotel prices, but the flights would be the same price. You may want to choose different dates. I would then go to TravelZoo and see if there are any deals on TravelZoo for TravelZoo members. I'll put in my information, click right into it, because you have to have membership there. So you have to log into the site to get access to the deals that are on the site. And I would look and see if there are any. I would put into the search bar New York City. So I would look and see if there are any hotels in the city. I would also look in New Jersey, because you can stay in New Jersey for cheaper, stay at a hotel in New Jersey, and then take the public transit. New York has very dependable public transit system. The buses, the trains. I may take a train from New Jersey into New York, or you can take an Uber from New Jersey into New York. It's not that expensive. So if you prefer to stay in Manhattan, in the city, then yeah, look for a hotel there. But if you're willing to travel from either Brooklyn or New Jersey, then those are two viable options as well. If this is your first time, I would just say stay in the city and walk everywhere to save some money, so you're not, paying as much on taxis and Ubers. Plus, you get to see a whole lot more of the city if you're walking, and learning the city if you're walking, than being in a taxi stuck in traffic. And everyone walks in New York, so do what the locals do.
And now I know you stayed this long for the bonus tips. And by the way, if you have stuck around this long and you have not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? It's a vibe. You know it's a vibe. And you know that there are a lot of very, very great tips on this channel, and I'm going to give you for free. You can thank me later. How about you thank me now with a thumbs up to the video and by subscribing to the channel? I'll be very grateful to have you. So bonus tip number 1. In a previous video, I talked to you about traveling with carry-on only. And when at all possible, which is 99.9% of the time, I travel with carry-on only. It avoids any extra baggage fees, and sometimes baggage fees are included in some of the flights that I take, but still just for convenience and fees alone. So if you want to save money, travel light, because if you have an overweight bag, that's a carry-on. That doesn't help you, does it? So travel light and travel with carry-on only. I also like to eat like the locals eat when I get there. So if you find where the locals are congregating a lot, the food is probably really good, and the prices are usually really reasonable. I like to, hang out where the locals hang out. I've even taken public transportation in some places where I felt comfortable enough. In the Bahamas, for instance, once I got there and got into a taxi, the very first time, got into a taxi, and was driven to our lodging, and they told us that, and the cab driver stopped twice to get something to drink and asked us if we wanted something to drink. Notice he came back with an alcoholic drink. We were like, whoa, what's going on here? And what are the rules? What are the laws? Later on, met some police officers there, and they explained, drink and drive, stay alive. Now that was back then. I kid you not. That was back then. But literally after I got to my lodging, unpacked and everything, I got some change and I started getting on the bus. I'm like, yeah, no. I love life. I'm going to take my own life into my own hands. But anyway, when it's safe, I try to take public transportation and try to, kind of get the flavor of what it would be like to live there. Plus, I consider myself an international citizen anyway, so I kind of try to blend in wherever I go. I kind of, assimilate into the culture and the way of life. And most of the places that I go, I can easily do so. So, hey, why not? And you save a ton of money. You save a ton of money. That's what this video is about. That's what you want to know. It saves a ton of money. And there you have it. My step-by-step guide to affordable last-minute travel. Now, I know affordable is relative, and what may be affordable to some may not be affordable to others. So you work this project, you work this plan, and figure out what works for your trip, for your travel. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, share it with someone you know, and subscribe to the channel for more travel tips and hacks. I hope that you're having a great morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. Remember to value experiences over things, because travel is the only thing you buy that makes you richer. Ciao.